So much for that, huh? Oh my goodness, I hope everyone gets the memo. I hope everyone gets the memo that we are... What? It said it could take up to 24 hours to verify. So there's that. Good morning. So for anyone who's just joining right now, I know that I said that it was going to be on the other account, but they have to age verify me, and they said it could take up to 24 hours to age. And I went to go start live on there, and it was like, please verify your age. And I was like, okay, I'll verify my age. How can I do it? And it was like, you can take a selfie to verify your age, and we will do face recognition. And I was like, great, let's do it. So I took a selfie, and they said, we cannot verify your age with this photo. And I was like, is this supposed to be a joke? Look at these wrinkles. And they said no. So then I went and I got my ID, and they said it could be 24 hours with an ID. So tomorrow.
I'm not wrinkly, you don't believe me.
They didn't see these wrinkles. They're everywhere.
What wrinkles?
Hi, Mom. Mom said, I can tell them how old you are. I was there. Good, Mom. Good. Excellent. Good. I'm glad you were there because the alternative is weird. Yes, TikTok does think that I am a child, apparently, which is scary. TikTok, I am so beyond 18. I am 100. Yes.
Could a child just put old person makeup on and beat the system?
I guess not. I guess not. Because if they can't verify your age, then they make you...
No, if you put outlandish amounts of
I guess if they're really good at makeup, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. Guys, we had homemade spaghetti and meatballs last night. I made homemade sauce and homemade meatballs, which was so yummy.
Kill the pig ourselves.
That's really funny, Jen. You're like, good Lord. You're like, Jen said that before 9/11, they had to call her mom to verify who she was because they couldn't recognize her. Before 9/11, now they would never call someone to verify, but like if a... What? Yeah, now all the airplane stuff has changed. It's much more strict now. Things on airplanes weren't as strict. The TSA people or whatever. Or like... That's what it sounds like. She didn't have ID with her, and they just called her mom to confirm because things were very lax. They were like, well, who is she? That would never happen now. No one would ever just pick up a phone and be like, hello, are you her mother? Is she really Jen? Are you sure? Yeah, probably. They would never allow that. She didn't bring her ID. What time was she born? She's a Capricorn. Lovely. Oh, it was a hard labor? My gosh. Semi-recently, they wouldn't let... Cindy's dad is elderly, and I guess they wouldn't let him buy alcohol because he didn't have ID with him.
Psychotic.
That's absolutely psychotic. This poor man is like, I've lived through so many wars.
I remember going to a Braves game with my grandpa and dad, and the guy was like... The guy demanded ID from my grandpa. My grandma was just like...
What is happening right now? Jen said they asked, what does your daughter look like, to confirm that it really was her. Excuse me, what color hair does she have? No, it's dyed. It's dyed now. That's not the color. It was born brown. Oh, well, it's not brown now. Did she tell you she dyed her hair? It's not good. You should tell her to leave it natural. They're so much better natural. Why, in my scenario, are the TSA agents old grandmas? You know why. Hey, Amanda. I don't know why that's so funny to me. He's 68. I was with him. Oh, he's not as elderly as I thought. Okay. I told I was his daughter and showed them my ID. That's not good enough. But 68 is definitely old enough to buy alcohol.
You know, common sense.
Yes, it's always grandmas from New York City. There's only one type of person that naturally falls out of my mouth, and it's a grandma from New York City. Oh my gosh, secret fiance. Wait, Amanda wants you to know Minnesota signed Jefferson. He said, really? Who's Jefferson? What? Who, thank you. Explain more, please. Huh? He's a receiver. What is receiver? Naisa says it's Thomas Jefferson.
He's a catch boy.
He's a catch boy? A catch boy from the main throw boy or just random throw boys?
Whoever wants to throw it.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, he's not exclusive to any throw boys.
Oh.
He's poly catch.
Highest paid non-QB in NFL history. Wow. 140 million over 4 years.
Jeez. I bet a couple of those are void years. They're not gonna know. He's never gonna see 140 million.
They're what years?
Void years.
What does that mean?
A lot of times when they make these contracts, they like the numbers to sound high, but there's things like guaranteed money.
Guaranteed 110.
Okay, so 30 million of that he might not ever see.
Unless he's so good and he catches all the balls.
Yeah.
And then he'll get all of it. Probably.
Or, I mean, he is good. I think he'll catch some balls. They don't really have a QB, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, are they going to get a QB?
They drafted somebody, I forget his name.
Oh, but no good?
Well, you never know, right? It's a crapshoot.
You're right. It is. It's always a crapshoot with these throw boys, I tell you what. I mean, yeah, QB is a throw boy too, right?
QB is a throw boy.
QB could also be an all boy because sometimes he runs.
Sometimes. More
And
often,
he also is a directy boy.
He does direct other
Yes.
players to do things.
The
Yes.
QB is the director.
No. The coach is the director.
There are a lot of stipulations to this contract, but he will see more than he needs. True.
That's a lot. I mean, here's the thing about paying him that much. Like, it's kind of the cart before the horse. Like, paying a wide receiver that much doesn't really matter if you don't have, like, great QB.
Yes, Priscilla, that's why we do it this way. Priscilla said she would understand football better the way that I explain it, and that's why we started doing my version of football so that everybody felt like they understood what was going on. It's just the QB's just a PA. Oh, the QB's a PA? Ew. How are they getting paid so much?
A PA?
Yeah, a production assistant.
Production assistant?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're like the lead.
The lead in the show,
Yeah.
for sure. That's why they get paid so much, because everyone comes to see them.
Yeah, they're like the lead in the show.
And they're not only a lead, you guys, they're an above the title lead.
Yeah.
That's why they get paid so much.
Well, the good ones are.
The good ones are an above the title lead. Ooh, if they are out, can you get your money back for a game?
No.
Oh, see, Broadway does that. Yeah, it's definitely stunt casting.
Basketball should do that.
So in Broadway, if an above the title lead is out for a day and you already have paid for a ticket, you can get your money back. Did you know that?
You want to do the dance?
Oh my God, you guys were going to smoothie dance. It's been so long. And look at our plant baby in his new location.
Yeah, check that out. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it in frame?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
Like a little studio set.
No, not if you went, Cindy. Only if you reschedule. Someday someone's going to come on while I'm doing that and think that I'm insensitively making fun of people who have seizures and not realize that I'm dancing.
Oh, no.
I just realized that would be bad.
You should do the Carlton. No, no.
Okay. I don't know. I think I know how to do that.
You swing your two arms together back and forth.
Right. Yeah, that'll do it. Then they'll just know I'm just bad at dancing and not making fun of anyone except myself.
Should teach you the Elaine dance from Seinfeld.
What's the Elaine dance from Seinfeld?
She's like,
That looks like it'd be hard to do sitting though.
she like kicks like one leg out. It's really bad. It's funny.
It's really bad that it's funny. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that that's really bad that it's funny. Just a heads up, everyone.
Well, no, it's supposed to be funny. That's why. It's
Yeah.
the whole point of the episode.
We'll probably be on the other account tomorrow as long as I get age verified. Just so everyone knows. Heads up, we will be on the book account tomorrow.
Well, tell them to call your mom.
Oh, yeah. Straw.
Oh, forgot.
Thank you. All right, friends, we are on chapter 15, and in case anyone didn't check, I got all the previous days uploaded, so they are all on YouTube except for today, which is exciting. That means that after this, I can put up today's, and we will be 100% caught up. And also, the other stuff is getting organized into playlists this week. Yeah.
Many Boffins died because she has uploads.
What? What did you say? What did you say?
I said many Boffins died.
What does that mean?
It's a reference to the movie.
Okay, what's a boffin, you guys? Does anybody know? It is a book club miracle, I agree. Pray tell, what is a boffin?
Nobody knows.
No one knows. All the planets lined up this morning. Yes, apparently so. But what's a boffin, you guys? No one's gonna tell me? You're all just gonna leave me in the lurch? What's a boffin? Babe, what's a boffin?
It's from Star Wars.
What?
It's from Star Wars.
It's from Star Wars? None of them knew that. Oh, Mom is saying the planets really did align this morning. Wait, are you being funny? It's a person from Boston. A boffin. That's a funny joke, Jen. Okay, they're not telling me because they didn't know. You weren't telling me because you were trying to withhold information
Oh, no.
from your almost wife.
I should tell you about Boffins as part of the whole deal.
I think so. You can't make a joke and then not explain it. That seems not nice.
It was a joke just for me, though.
Oh. I guess if that's his only secret, we're okay with it, right? Hey, Nikki. All right. We are now going to read chapter 15. And chapter 15 is called Circle of Secrets. Dun, dun, dun. That's scary. Okay. The following morning, Mrs. V rang the chimes to announce breakfast. Bristol climbed down the floating steps to the dining hall. She and her classmates took their seats around the table, but strangely, Madam Weatherbury was absent. You're right, Amanda. They all assumed their teacher was just running late until Mrs. V entered from the kitchen and started serving the meal without her. Well, who's hungry? Mrs. V asked. Today, I'm trying a little recipe I invented called Egg White Surprise. Last one to guess what the surprise is has to do with the dishes. Woo-hoo! Shouldn't we wait for Madam Weatherbury to join us? Bristol asked. Oh, well, Madam Weatherbury isn't here, Mrs. V said. She received a late letter late last night and left the castle early this morning. Did she say where she was going or when she was going to be back? The housekeeper scrunched her brow as she tried to remember. Now that you mention it, I don't believe she did, Mrs. V said. She's probably making a quick trip to visit her sick friend again. She did say she wanted all of you to keep practicing your improvements, rehabilitation, manifestations, and imagination exercises while she is gone. Although, you'll have to find another volunteer because I am officially retired from that position. Hearing that Madam Weatherbury had snuck off without saying goodbye was troubling. The teacher's odd behavior must have meant that the northern conflict was still going on, and Bristol felt foolish for having hoped that it was already resolved. All her fears and concerns about Madam Weatherbury's safety immediately returned, depleting her appetite. Bristol sank into her seat and barely touched Mrs. V's egg white surprise. The students and apprentices spent the rest of the morning outside practicing their magic. Bristol acted like a substitute teacher and encouraged her classmates as they conducted their exercises. She even gave them little assignments to boost their improvement, rehabilitation, manifestation, and imagination skills. With the truth finally revealed about what she was, Lucy practiced her magic with much more confidence than she had before, and she didn't cower from the challenges like she used to. Great job, Lucy, Bristol praised her. I asked you to manifest a hot spring, and that's exactly what you did. Yeah, but it's filled with boiling manure,
Lucy said. Yes, but you're still making progress, and that's all that matters, Bristol said. Now don't take this personally, but I have to do something about that smell before we all pass out. Later that afternoon, the students and apprentices were forced inside the castle when a powerful rainstorm blew from the north and drenched the academy grounds. As they waited for the storm to pass, the students and apprentices gathered in the sitting room and listened to Bristol read tales of Tit-Bit the Twitch aloud. Unfortunately, the rain didn't stop, so Bristol continued reading into the evening. The evening turned into night, and Mrs. V headed to bed. The students and apprentices were enthralled with the story and begged Bristol to keep reading. Even the deer and the elk heads mounted to the wall seemed interested. Tit-Bit splashed through the mushy plains of the swamp valley for 3 days and 4 nights, Bristol read aloud. How is that possible? Anyway. Everywhere he turned, the flooded swampland looked exactly the same in all directions. The mouse feared that he had been wandering in circles. He began worrying that he would never see his beloved mouse kingdom again. But then the hazy air began to clear, and he saw a fiery volcano glowing in the distance. Tit-Bit's heart raced because he knew he had finally arrived at the dragon's secret lair. Her audience cheered at the exciting passage, but not everyone was as enchanted by Tit-Bit's adventure. I'm bored, Lucy moaned. What do you mean you're bored? Emeralda said. This is the part we've been waiting for. Tit-Bit is finally going to fight the dragon. Lucy rolled her eyes. Look, I mean no disrespect to Mr. Tit-Bit, but he's a peacock among penguins. He's a peacock among penguins, but all we ever do is sit around and listen to Bristol read. Don't you guys want to do something different for a change? Oh, please. Everything in children's fantasy is the... Wait, sorry. I missed something. But we're almost finished with the story, Xanthos said. Don't you want to hear the ending? Ah, please. Everything in children's fantasy is the same, Lucy complained. Let me guess. A lovable but unlikely hero, Tit-Bit, eventually arrives at the volcano and confronts the evil dragon. After a nail-biting fight, all seems lost for Tit-Bit. But then, by a lucky twist of fate, the little rat manages to defeat the dragon, and Tit-Bit learns he was much braver than he ever gave himself credit for. Am I close? Everyone turned to Bristol to see if Lucy was correct. Bristol was shocked by the accuracy of Lucy's guess, and her mouth dropped open. Spoiler alert, Skylene groaned. See, I told you, Lucy said. Now, let's do something fun. Well, you've already ruined our night, Tangerina said. What else do you want to do? I don't know, something crazy and spontaneous, Lucy said, and excitedly thought of different options. Oh, I know, let's go. Why did she just become Australian? Nope, that's not right. Let's try that again. Oh, crud. Did I lose Lucy? Darn it. Oh, no. She's a New Yorker. Let's go unicorn. She's Australian again. What the heck? Okay, well, she wants to go unicorn tipping, you guys. I am not going outside in the rain, Emeralda said. If I catch a cold, I'll be coughing up emeralds for weeks. All right, fair enough, Lucy said. Then maybe we could play a prank on Mrs. V. We can sneak into her bedroom while she's asleep and put a hand in a bowl of water. That's a classic. Classically cruel, Bristol said. Do you have any ideas that don't involve harming people or animals? Lucy couldn't think of any off the top of her head. She went quiet and scratched her neck while she brainstormed the perfect activity. Yeah, I got it, she exclaimed. Let's break into Madame Weatherberry's office while she's gone. I'm sure we'll find something worth doing in there. Tangerina and Skylene were appalled by Lucy's proposition. We cannot go into Madame Weatherberry's office, Tangerina said. It's against the rules, and we don't even have that many rules to begin with. And you've already broken half of them, Skylene added. We'll only get in trouble if we get caught, Lucy said. Madame Weatherberry will never know that we were in there. We'll just pop in for a second, take a look around, and if we don't find anything entertaining, I promise we'll turn around and leave. What do you say? Normally, Bristol would never have endorsed such an activity, but she was intrigued by Lucy's idea. Since Madame Weatherberry had left the academy in such a hurry that morning, it was possible she might have left something behind that would reveal where she had gone. Perhaps Bristol would find a letter from the witches that Madame Weatherberry had left out. Perhaps she'd find a clue that offered insight into what the Northern Conflict was. If nothing else, Bristol could probably determine Madame Weatherberry's location on the enlarged map of magic hanging on the office wall. Ooh, that's smart. Come on, guys, Lucy pleaded. I feel like I'm in solitary confinement. Can we please do something stimulating just this once? I'm begging you. You know, even though it's against the rules, sneaking into Madame Weatherbury's office is practically harmless, Bristol told the others. And if it gets Lucy to shut up about being bored, fine, we'll give it a try, Tangerina said. But since I sincerely doubt that we'll get inside, Madame Weatherbury's office is probably protected by, like, a powerful enchantment. Hey, Roxy. A sly grin came to Lucy's face, yet challenge accepted. Lucy hopped off the sofa and propelled into the entrance hall. The others followed her into the hall and up the floating staircase onto the second floor. The children gathered around Madame Weatherbury's office, and Lucy tried opening the doors the traditional way, but they didn't budge. Lucy then removed a hairpin from her pocket and sat on her knees while she examined the doorknobs and peeked through the keyhole. Tangerina and Skylene nervously looked back and forth between the unicorn and the griffin carvings on Madame Weatherbury's doors, as if the magical creatures were judging their mischievous behavior. This is a mistake, Tangerina said. We should go back downstairs and find something else to do. Maybe we could play a board game or like hide and seek, or we could dress up the mounted heads in the doors open, Lucy announced. What? Tangerina asked the child. How did you get past the enchantment? I just picked the lock, Lucy said with a shrug. Come on, let's go in. Lucy pushed open the doors and led her timid classmates inside. Madame Weatherbury's office was a welcome and cheerful place, but since it was strictly off limits during their teacher's absence, the charming room felt eerie. The pouring rain and the thunderstorm outside didn't help matters. With every flash of lightning, Madame Weatherbury's glass furniture lit up like chandeliers. As soon as they were inside, Lucy started searching through all the fairies' cabinets and shelves. She pushed the potions and spell books aside as if she was looking for something in particular. Her classmates stayed in a close huddle by the door, afraid to touch anything. Bristol stayed with the others, but looked around the room thoroughly. She tried to spot something out of the ordinary, but unfortunately the office was impeccably organized, and Bristol didn't see a thing that seemed out of place. Aha! Lucy exclaimed. She still has it. Still has what? Skylene asked. Lucy removed a beautiful crystal bottle from the cabinet and held it up for her classmates to see. As she presented the bottle, a devious smile spread across her face. Have you guys ever tried Fabulous Fizz before? Lucy asked. Fabulous Fizz? I've never even heard of that, Xanthos said. Yeah, it's a magical beverage, Lucy eagerly explained. It's a celebratory drink in the magical community. It serves upon its on special occasions. When I was on tour with my family a couple of years ago, a member of the Goblin Tennis gave me a bottle for my 11th birthday. Believe me, it's unlike anything you've ever tasted. When my parents brought me to the academy, I saw Madame Weatherbury had a bottle stashed in here. We should have some. You can't drink that, Tangerina said. She'll know we were in here. Put it back before you incriminate us, Skylene said. Will you two lighten up? Lucy said. The whole cabinet's covered in dust. Madame Weatherbury won't even notice it's missing. I'm going to take the first sip. Before they could convince her otherwise, Lucy had used her teeth to pull the cork out of the bottle and took a satisfying swig. After her first gulp, Lucy burst into a fit of giggles and held her stomach like the fabulous fizz was tickling her from the inside out. She started hiccuping, and large pink bubbles floated out of her mouth. Now that's some good stuff, Lucy laughed. Who wants a taste? Not me, Tangerina said. Me neither, Skylene said. I'll have some, Esmeralda said. Tangerina and Skylene were visibly disappointed at Esmeralda's willingness, but they didn't stop her. Lucy passed the bottle to Esmeralda and she took a sip. She swirled the Fabulous Fizz in her mouth for a couple of moments in a sophisticated manner, and after she swallowed, Esmeralda started chuckling, just like Lucy, and she blew bubbles out of her mouth one at a time. She's right. It is delicious, Esmeralda said. It reminds me of the cold brew the dwarfs used to drink in the mine, except it doesn't have the charcoal aftertaste. You guys are really missing out if you don't give it a try. Esmeralda handed the Fabulous Fizz to Xanthos, and he peered inside the bottle as if it contained poison. There isn't any alcohol in this, is there? Xanthos asked. Lucy had to think about it, and Bristol could tell she didn't know the answer. Yeah, of course not, Lucy decided. Go on, Sparky, give it a try. Xanthos was overwhelmed by the peer pressure and took a quick drink. The sensation was much more amusing than he had predicted, and he laughed so hard that bubbles erupted from his nose. After watching Xanthos' pleasant reaction, Tangerina and Skylene didn't want to be left out, so they also tried the Fabulous Fizz. The girls giggled at each other and popped their bubbles as they burped them up. Bristol had the very last sip of Fabulous Fizz, and just like the others, she chuckled as the fizzy beverage filled her stomach, and the bubbles tickled her tongue as they floated out of her mouth. All right, we've had our fun, Tangerina said. Now let's get out of here before we wake up Mrs. V. What are you talking about? Lucy said. We're just getting started. She snatched the empty bottle of Fabulous Fizz from Bristol. I know what we should do next. Let's play Circle of Secrets. What's Circle of Secrets? Skylene asked. It's a version of Spin the Bottle that you play with unattractive people, Lucy explained. No offense. I'd just rather have lemon juice in my eye than kiss any of you all. The game is simple. We sit in a circle, spin a bottle, and whoever it lands on has to share a secret that they never told anyone. Before her classmates could object to playing the game, Lucy positioned everyone in a circle and sat them on the floor. She placed the bottle in the center and gave it a strong spin. As it came to a stop, Lucy blew on the bottle until it pointed to herself. Ah, great. I'll get us started. She said, okay, I got a good one. A few years ago, my family was performing in a variety show in the Western Kingdom. Well, it just so happened that Vinnie Von Vick, the most famous tambourine player in the world, was performing that same show. Naturally, I was jealous and I was worried that he might outshine me. So I locked him in his dressing room and he missed the performance. To this day, I still feel guilty whenever I think of old Vinnie Von Vick. And sometimes when it's quiet, I can still hear him banging on that dressing room door. I doubt that's the worst thing you've ever done, Tangerina said. He was in there for 3 weeks and he missed the birth of his first child, Lucy added. Why is she changing accents like this? All right, let's keep this pheasant flying. Who's next? Lucy gave the bottle another spin and it landed on Bristol. Oh gosh, this is a tough one, she said. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't really have any secrets, at least not anymore. When I was living in the Southern Kingdom, everything that I did was secret, and I had a secret collection of books and a secret job at the library, and of course, being a fairy was the ultimate secret, and I guess none of that matters now that I'm here. It's funny how a change of scenery can completely change someone. Lucy groaned and rolled her eyes. Yeah, it's hysterical, she said. Moving on. She spun the bottle with gusto, and it finally stopped, and the bottle was pointing directly at Xanthos. I don't really have any secrets either, he said. Are you sure? Lucy asked. When the others weren't looking, Lucy winked at Bristol, and it suddenly dawned on her why Lucy wanted to play Circle of Secrets. She was trying to figure out what Xanthos' big secret was from the night his father perished in the fire. I'm positive, the boy said. I spent so much effort hiding my powers, I didn't have time for any other secrets. Come on, Zanny. I'm sure you got one in you, Lucy said. You never done anything that knew you weren't supposed to? Something you never been caught in the middle of misbehaving? You never committed a forbidden act that resulted in an accidental but horrific event? Those are very specific questions, Esmeralda noted. Xanthos was confused by Lucy's interrogation, but it didn't take long for him to remember the event she was fishing for. The memory made the color drain from his cheeks. He looked to the floor with a devastated gaze, and he gripped his Mutter medal with both hands. Yeah, he said softly. I suppose something like that did happen to me once. And? Lucy pressed. I don't want to talk about it, Xanthos said. It happened on the night my father died. Yeah, well, I'm afraid you have to tell us, Lucy said. Otherwise, it's 7 years bad luck. 7 years? Xanthos asked in a panic. Yeah, I don't make the rules. I just play the game. Bristol covered Lucy's mouth and took over the conversation before Xanthos was traumatized any further. Xanthos, this game isn't going to give you any bad luck, she said. This is just Lucy's unique way of trying to help you. We all know how terrible keeping a secret can feel. Secrets are like parasites, and the longer you keep them inside, the more damage they cause. So if you ever want to talk about the night your father passed away, we will be ready to listen. The troubled boy thought about it, and he slowly nodded. Yeah, you're right. Yay, Grace! Yay! It doesn't do me any good to keep it to myself. I just hope it doesn't change your opinion of me. Of course it won't, Bristol said. We made a pact, remember? You couldn't get rid of us if you tried. Her smile gave Xanthos the courage he needed, and the boy sat straight and let out a deep breath. Okay. A few nights before Madame Weatherbury recruited me into her academy, I was at home by myself, he told the others. That night, my father came home from the pub earlier than he normally did, and he walked into the house and caught me doing something I knew I shouldn't have been doing, and it was something he had repeatedly told me not to do. My father began beating me and accidentally started a fire that burned down our house, and it took his life. What did he catch you doing? Esmeralda asked. Recalling that night made Xanthos' eyes water and his jaw quiver. Everyone in the room was on pins and needles as they waited for him to answer. He, Xanthos said with difficulty, he caught me playing with dolls. After the confession was made, tears streamed down his cheek and he covered his face in shame. His classmates were shocked, not because of what he had confessed, but because it was nothing close to what they were expecting. Dolls? Lucy exclaimed. That's your big secret? Xanthos lowered his hands and peeked at his classmates. You don't think that's wrong? Wrong? Lucy blurted out. Xanthos, do you know how many men played with dolls in show business? Let me put it this way. If they all disappeared overnight, there would be no show business. Really? Xanthos asked. You're not just saying that to make me feel better? I never say anything to make people feel better. Lucy said, gosh, I'm so disappointed right now. I was hoping you were making weapons or hosting rooster fights or writing radical manifestos. Hey, Danielle. Not in a million years would I have guessed that it was something as simple as playing with dolls. If your father was cruel enough to beat his own son for that, he deserves to be dead. The whole room gasped at Lucy's extreme statement, but in many ways it was exactly what Xanthos needed to hear. Bristol knew what he was thinking without having to ask him. Xanthos had been raised to believe that his interests and preferences were shameful and despicable. To finally have someone dismiss them as simple and shameless was the greatest gift that he could have been given. The boy sighed with relief, like an invisible weight had been lifted off his shoulders. I understand how you feel, Bristol told him. It's ironic, but when I was growing up in the Southern Kingdom, I was forced to play with dolls. I was always furious about the expectations they placed on girls, but I never realized it was just as unfair for boys. Xanthos nodded. Yeah, maybe it was for the best, he said. If we had everything we wanted, we might never have found out what we needed now. Bristol and Xanthos shared a warm smile, knowing how grateful they both were to put the Southern Kingdom behind them. All right, that's it. We're done with this game, Lucy announced. Playing Circle of Secrets with you guys is like playing I Spy with a blind mole rat. Let's find something else to do. Oh, I have an idea, Tangerina said. Why don't we play Leave the Office while we still can? That sounds terrible, Lucy said. Instead of playing a game, why don't we just tell ghost stories? The weather's perfect for it. That sounds like fun, Xanthos said. Who wants to go first? I know a good story, Emeralda said. Back in the coal mine, the dwarves used to talk about the phantom minecart that moved through the caverns all by itself. Ugh, creepy, Lucy said. Go on. A blank expression came to Emeralda's face. Well, there was a phantom minecart that moved through the caverns all by itself, she repeated. What more do you want? That cannot be the best story you've got, Lucy said. Emeralda bit her lip and squinted at the ceiling while she thought about it. Actually, there is another story I could tell, she said. And the scariest part is that it's about someone who's still living. Have you guys ever heard of the Snow Queen? All her classmates shook their heads, excited to learn. She's a real person causing a real big problem right now, Emeralda explained. In the Northern Kingdom, they've been trying to keep her a secret to prevent mass hysteria. But when you live in the in-between like I did, you tend to get the unabridged version of bad news. Wait a second, Bristol said and leaned forward. Did you just say she's causing trouble in the Northern Kingdom? Yeah, trouble is an understatement, Emeralda said. The Snow Queen is causing destruction like the world has never seen. Many years ago, the Snow Queen was just a simple witch with a specialty for controlling the weather. One night, an angry mob found her home and killed her family. The loss devastated the witch. Her rage made her powers grow stronger than ever before, and that's how she became the Snow Queen we know today. Right now, as we speak, the Snow Queen is attacking the Northern Kingdom as part of her revenge against humankind. And according to what I heard, she has more than half the kingdom in her frosty clutches. Oh, I have heard of this woman, Lucy said. She's the reason the North has been so cold lately. My family had to cancel the northern leg of our tour because the roads were frozen. Skylene leaned closer to Tangerina and whispered in her friend's ear, I wonder if the Snow Queen has anything to do with the northern conflict. The girls' conversation caught Bristol's attention and she jerked her head in their direction. She couldn't believe her ears. Skylene had said exactly what Bristol herself was thinking. Did you just say northern conflict? Bristol asked. Yeah, Skylene said. Have you heard of it? Yeah, once or twice, Bristol said. Do you know what it is? We wish, Tangerina said. Me and Skylene heard Madame Weatherberry bring it up when we met with the sovereigns to talk about the academy, but we could barely make out what they were saying. She always just asked us to leave the room before they started talking about it. In that case, I bet the Snow Queen is the Northern Conflict, Lucy said. Every show worth talking about has a strong leading lady. Have a good nap, Danielle. But how can we be sure that the Snow Queen actually exists? Bristol asked. How do we know it's not just a story? Well, my papa has customers who have seen her with their own eyes, Emeralda said. They said the Snow Queen can summon a blizzard in seconds. They said that she wears a giant snowflake as a crown and a fur coat made from the hair of her enemies. They said she abducts children from their homes and feasts on their innocent flesh. They say it doesn't matter how hard the Northern Kingdom's army fights her, she only becomes stronger and stronger. And most terrifying of all, they say the Snow Queen won't stop until the whole world is covered in her icy wrath. As Emeralda had planned it, the conclusion of the story was followed by a flash, as if Emeralda had planned it. It was followed by a flash of lightning that made everyone scream. Well, I say it's time for bed, Tangerina said. I've had as much mischief and horror as I can stand for one night. I agree, Skylene yawned. I'm gonna have nightmares as it is. We don't have to be worried about the Snow Queen, do we? Xantho asked. I mean, there isn't a chance that she could come to the academy. Is there? Probably not, Emeralda said. The Northern Kingdom is so far away, I bet someone stops her before she gets close to us. The classmates did call it a night and headed for the door, but Bristol stayed seated on the floor. Her heart was racing after listening to Emeralda's story, not because the tale frightened her, but because of how frighteningly familiar it all sounded. Hey, Bristol, are you coming? Lucy called from the doors. I gotta lock up on our way out so it doesn't look suspicious. Yeah, just a moment, she said. I want to check on something before we go. Bristol moved a chair under the enlarged map of magic that hung over the fireplace. Hey, Mary. She climbed onto the chair and she took a closer look at the glittering stars that represented the different fairies and witches living around the world. However, when Bristol's eyes moved past the Northern Kingdom, the majority of the country was blank. Even the areas surrounding the major cities and kingdoms' capitals were completely vacant of magical life. Bristol wondered if it was just a coincidence or if the magical community had evacuated to save themselves from the Snow Queen's destruction. Only a small cluster of 5 stars remained in the dark area of the Northern Kingdom. Among them was one of the brightest stars on the map. One by one, Bristol touched the stars with her fingers and the names Felina Scratchworth, Crobella Clawdale, Squidella Inkerson, and Nutellia Vipes appeared next to them. And then Bristol touched the largest star in the group and gasped when the name Celeste Weatherberry appeared beside it. So that's Madame Weatherberry's secret, Bristol said to herself. She hasn't been leaving the academy to visit a sick friend. She's been in the Northern Kingdom fighting the Snow Queen.
Well then, I did not know that the woman that she was fighting was the Snow Queen. That was unexpected. But I guess we should have known it was not one of the ones that gets vanquished later. It's a tale of magic, Roxy. All right, well, that is that. In case anyone didn't know, tonight is the first roll for Slime of June. I will be on at 4:30. Let it go. I will upload this before then for anyone who missed part of it to catch up on the rest of it. 4:30 is Roll for Slime. If you are on Patreon, I will be posting the agenda this morning. And that's the whole kit and caboodle. I will see you all tomorrow. Hopefully my other account will be age verified by tomorrow and we can try it on that. Love you too. Mwah!